Hi guys, I'm Dennis. Welcome to my channel Guy with a Plant. In today's plant spotlight episode, I'm going to show you a caladium, and this is the Caladium Red Beret. The Caladium is from the family of Ariceae, so that means it's in the same family as your philodendrons and anthuriums. And this Caladium, the original Caladium, which is the Caladium bicolor, is native to South and Central America. And it has spawned off thousands of cultivars, and this is one of the cultivars. The colors on the leaves of the caladiums are usually very bright, and it has colors like red, pink, green, and white, as you can see from this particular one. And the leaves are typically heart-shaped, and given the right conditions, they can grow very big. For growers in the temperate countries, they might find the caladiums going into dormancy during the wintry periods. But since I'm from Singapore, a tropical country, I can grow this throughout the whole year. Okay, a little story about this caladium. When I first got this, which was middle of last year, I wasn't really into this kind of colorful plants. I was more into green foliage that will give me the kind of jungly vibes in my place. So yeah, I wasn't really drawn to caladiums, but somehow I kind of like this combination of green and red coloration variegation. Do you even call this variegation? No, coloration on the leaves. So I got this, and when I first got it, it was a two-leaf specimen with very long, leggy petioles, and it came in a sphagnum moss. So I kept it, and the way it was growing was pretty not consistent. As one of the new leaf comes out, the next one, the older one, will just turn yellow and die off. So this pretty much happens every time there's a new leaf. So at any one time, there were only two leaves, and by the end of the year, end of last year, all the leaves drop off. So I decided to cut off the plant and take out the bulb, wash it, clean it, and kept it in an airtight container in a very dark space. And then I procrastinated. I was supposed to take it out 2 months later to report it, but I only took it out in April this year, which is a total of 4 months sitting in that dark cabinet. And yeah, and when I opened up the container, gosh, it was so stinky. I thought the whole thing have just rotted off, but luckily it didn't. The bulb was still hard, so that told me that it has not rotten. It wasn't rotten. So I took it out and just pot it into a very well draining potting medium and let it sit out in the sun. And yeah, lo and behold, 1 month later, I see growth. So that was really exciting. Okay, let's start off by talking about its care requirements. We'll start off with light. And as you know, most caladiums, they would appreciate very bright light, bright indirect light. So I have mine outside at the balcony because it's end of the year now, so it doesn't get very strong sun, but still very bright filtered light. So as you can see, it has benefited from it. Look at the intense colors. Previously, when I was keeping this indoor, the colors were a little bit dull, and the petioles were really leggy, very long. But now they are a little bit shorter, and as you can see, is a little bit more compact looking. I'm sure you'll be very thankful for some morning sun, direct morning sun, because they are more gentle. but do avoid the mid-afternoon sun because it will burn their leaves. I've seen some wild specimens growing by the roadside, and even though it's totally unshaded, unsheltered, they were just thriving like crazy. So bright light for this caladium. When it was sitting in the sphagnum moss, I water it almost every day, just a tiny bit to keep the moss wet. But since I repotted it to a proper pot with organic medium, I water this every 4 or 5 days. I just make sure the top part is dry before I give it a good water through. But do take note that they do not like to dry out totally before you water it. So yeah, still keep the medium a little bit moist. But since this is sitting outside and it's exposed to the weather and the wind and everything, it dries out a little bit faster. So I got to keep an eye on this. For humidity, as you know, the humidity levels at my place is not fantastic. Typically, it ranges between 40 to 50%. Sometimes on a good day, it'll be maybe 60%. But this is not fussy. It doesn't mind the humidity. So I would say just regular room ambient humidity will be fine. But now since it's at the balcony and it gets rain on quite a fair bit since it's end of the year, I think it's enjoying a little bit of increased humidity. For fertilizing, I gave this slow release fertilizer when I repotted this a while back, and also the potting medium is pretty organic, so I think it will last quite a while. And I also know caladiums are pretty heavy feeders, so I do give it some liquid fertilizer, diluted amounts when I water this. For the potting medium, I'll use something that is pretty peaty. So I will use this regular potting soil that's amended with pumice. Yeah, there isn't even any perlite here. So this is pretty dense and very water retentive, which I think it will appreciate. Look at the roots. I don't have any pest issues for this particular caladium, but I do experience some aphids infestation on my Caladium Florida clown. Yeah, that was really quite a battle, but I just have to be really vigilant and just keep watching it and spraying it with neem oil solution regularly to keep them away. As I end off by showing you these beautiful leaves, I also want to ask how do I get those really huge leaves from this caladium? I understand that the size and the quality of the bulbs will determine the quality of the plant. So I'm not sure whether is this deciding factor as to whether I'll get bigger leaves. Should I get bigger bulbs? Does anyone know the answer? If you do know, please comment below. I really want to have those huge leaves. Thank you for watching this episode of Plant Spotlight. I hope you find the information useful. If you do consider subscribing to my channel and also to comment below what kind of contents you would like to watch in future videos. Meanwhile, I shall see you again in my next video. Remember to show your plants some love.